Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Chubby Retro. Today's quick video is I actually came across a box of some of the stuff that I used to collect when I was younger. And like I mentioned in the past, I am very anal about taking care of stuff, not ripping stuff out of my magazines and what have you. And so one thing that I remember when I was younger is that whenever I would get a new video game, going back to the Game Boy, Super Nintendo era, I would always open up the box carefully, take out the game, and I would actually save the boxes in a drawer at my house. And so I came across those boxes. And so I wanted to kind of just share some with you guys. I'm gonna go by system. Um, Starting with the N64. I have a lot of them, so I don't know if it's going to be all one video. It may be really long, and I don't know if that is something that's appealing. So we'll kind of see as we go. But so I wanted to share what I have here. So the first one that I have is Top Gear Overdrive, and as you see, the box was in pretty good condition. Um, like I said, I would keep these in a drawer and I would kind of put them like this, one after another. And so they actually maintain themselves in pretty good condition. They have the manuals and everything inside. But this was a game that we got. We bought Cruis'n USA and we enjoyed that racing game, but it was more arcade. It was faster. It was not so much of a like racing game in terms of strategy and laps and all that. And so we got this game and we enjoyed it. I remember we used to play multiplayer. I guess it required the expansion pack. So yeah, this was a game that we had a lot of fun races with my siblings and my cousins. So that's one box there. Another box that I have that I've mentioned in the past was Blast Cores. Well, these have a protective cover on it, so they're kind of shiny, so I'll have to kind of play with the angles or what have you. But once again, in pretty good shape. This is Blast Cores. This is a rare game. And like I said, when we got this game, it was kind of just like on a whim, like, oh, let's pick it up. And I remember that when we took it home, it was different. It was a game that was fun, something that we hadn't played before. Different vehicles, and you had to kind of make a path for a trailer that had bombs on it, and which was this one here, and you had to clear a path. And I remember this was a really, really, really fun game. Good graphics, good gameplay. I mean, typical Rare. And so, like I said, this was another one of the boxes that we had here. Some of the screenshots of the game. So yeah, I mean, we were collectors. We definitely, especially with the Nintendo 64, we try to get as much as we could. Just because, I mean, that was like a system that was revolutionary compared to Super Nintendo. The games looked fantastic, and so it was fun. With the 4-player, the 4 ports on the front, you were able to play against people, multiplayer. If there was 4 of us siblings, so we were able to compete against each other or our cousins or whatever. And so it was a good time. So we were fortunate enough to get a lot of the games for them when the Nintendo 64 came out. So here's Donkey Kong 64. We enjoyed this game. I know a lot of people don't like it just because it's kind of like a, it's all collect. But it was fun. I mean, I don't think it was as good or revolutionary as Donkey Kong Country was on the Super Nintendo. But, I mean, it was fun, and to be able to see all these other characters, quite enjoyable. And I always liked that Nintendo didn't spare, the packaging. I mean, they did all this artwork on the side. They didn't need to do this. They could have just left this, a solid color and just focus on the front. But I like that they actually, they put effort into it. And I always like this only 4 thing. I don't know why, even for Super Nintendo, it just kind of like, it appealed to me that, oh, this is only for your Nintendo system. So there's Donkey Kong 64. Of course, every N64 owner had to have Goldeneye. And so here's the box for Goldeneye. These are screenshots, I assume, from the actual movie. But once again, awesome game. I mean, this was, besides maybe Gears of War on Xbox 360, I mean, this is the game, the shooter that I think enjoyed the most. Just a really fun polygonal 3D shooter, unlike anything we had seen up until this point. And so, very, very fun. Very, very fun. Once again, all in pretty good shape. I mean, I took care of these boxes. I think I took care of these boxes more than the cartridges. And of course, this is the actual game that we got when we got the system. I think everybody did. There was only, what, 3 games that were available for the N64 when it came out. Pilot Wings, this, and there was one more. It escapes me right now, but yeah, this is the first box to our collection. Simple, but it conveyed, you know, what you were getting yourself into with Mario 64. And so, of course, some of the screenshots. And I remember on our way home after picking up the system and Mario from Toys R Us, looking at these screenshots and anticipating, like, wow, this is going to be fun. What are we going to play? And big shout out to, I remember my dad. We pre-ordered the system. We pre-ordered the game. They gave us a free shirt. They gave us a duffel bag, I think. But we pre-ordered it, and then on release day, I think, you know, I'm sure money was tight. And it was like, hey, Dad, are we going to go pick it up? And, you know, he was kind of hesitant. But, you know, he made it happen. And, you know, as kids, it's just like, well, go to the bank, get some money out, and we'll go pick it up. Not realizing you have to have money in the bank, you know? One of my favorite boxes that I have, the collector's edition Ocarina of Time. This is the one that came with the gold cartridge. And so, as you can see, it has this, like, and it's just glued on it. It's a glossy front, but you can tell when it's out of this container that the it's just glued, like maybe like a postcard. I'm sure it can peel off and you'd have the regular cover underneath. I've never done it, of course, but yeah, I always like this cover. Once again, the only 4, Nintendo 64. These are just, well, there's artwork on the side there. But this was my first Zelda game that I got. I remember I pre-ordered this at Funkoland, and they gave us a free, for pre-ordering the gold version of the cartridge, we got a free, it was like, I guess it's, some people are saying it's like a binder cover. It's in, one of the videos is in my channel. If you look it up, I just recently found it and I kind of did a unboxing of it. But it was a, it was just this freebie they gave you. And I still have it. And I found that as well. So this is pretty cool. But yeah, once again, all of these screenshots, you're looking at them on the way home going, wow, this is going to be fun. And so this was the first Zelda game that I actually played and got really into. Like I said, I wasn't a big Zelda guy. And even after the fact, I really wasn't until Switch came out. But yeah, no, it's a very cool box. Now, one of the games that we did play a lot was WrestleMania 2000. This game was a blast. I mean, we were into WrestleMania or WWF back then. And so We were into Big Show, Mankind, The Rock, Triple H, Undertaker. And so when this game was announced, it looked fantastic. You know, if you look at the screenshots here, I mean, for the time, it was really, really cool. And it had all the wrestlers. I think you could customize them. I mean, it was fun. It was fun, and it actually had their entrance theme songs. It didn't have any full motion video. That came out on WWF SmackDown for PlayStation, and I bought that as well, just because of those full motion videos and the sound. It was on a CD, so it was the actual, you know, entrance songs. But this was a game that we had a blast with. We love this game. We played this game like crazy. So yeah, China. What's there? Kane. And I can't tell who that is. But yeah, had a good time with this game as well. Now this game, I have it in a container, just because if you open it and if you actually open the box, it emits fog, and it's like never-ending fog. So I keep it in here just so the fog doesn't come out and get all over the place. But yeah, Turok Dinosaur Hunter, another game. Once again, it was one of the first first-person shooters on the system, and even though it did have all that fog, it was still fun. The models of the dinosaurs, the models of the guns, I mean, for the time, they were revolutionary. I mean, look at that Triceratops. And so it was a fun shooter. So, and it was fun to have this on a Nintendo platform. I thought it was really cool. But yeah, Turok Dinosaur Hunter. What else should I pull up? Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey. This was a game, once again, I'm not a big hockey fan. We were not hockey fans. But it was one of those things, like, because the N64 had so many games that were announced, but they would be released slowly at like a trickle. And so whenever a game would finally get released, it was exciting. And it was like, oh, let's go get the new game. And so this was a game that we just picked up because we heard good things about it. And boy, it was fun. It reminded me of like an NBA Jam of 3D hockey. And so you had the 3D models, and it was just a fast-paced, fun game. I mean, you see when you would score, I think 5 in a row, you'd catch fire, just like NBA Jam. It was 3 guys on a team at a time, but it was just fast-paced. It was fun, real good times. You know, we're not hockey fans, but we really enjoyed this game, and it stole a lot of time from us, especially in the summer and what have you. Very simple cover, 4-player memory card, but a really, really fun game. If you guys have never played this, check this game out. It's very fun. And then this game, WWF Attitude. I think we got this game after WrestleMania. Let me see what the date is. Oh, it doesn't have a date. I want to say this came out after, if I'm not mistaken. And it was fun, but comparing this with the WrestleMania, there's no comparison. The graphics, the gameplay, it was just superior. I don't know, but I mean we still had fun. But this, I mean, we played WrestleMania 2000 a lot more. Let's see what else we have here. Um, this game was cool. Diddy Kong Racing. Diddy Kong Racing was, once again, Rare. I mean, Rare was kicking butt during the N64 era. They were making games that were just so fun, and Diddy Kong Racing just came out of nowhere. Um, it was like, whoa, a competitor to Mario Kart, but it had, as you can tell, the plane, the cart, and then this little like boat thing, and it had an adventure mode, which was fun. It was not, they weren't sprites like Mario Kart were pixels. The characters were pixels. The courses were 3D, but the characters were pixels. This was full polygonal characters and maps and everything. And so it was really a fun game to play back in those days. And then, like I said, it had an adventure mode for a racing game, for a kart racing game. So that was new and hadn't been seen before. I mean, it wasn't that deep. It wasn't that deep of an adventure mode, but it was fun. So yeah, Diddy Kong Racing, another Rare classic. And then I don't know why Nintendo didn't buy Rare. I mean, I'm sure there was a reason, but I mean, Rare was kicking butt until they got bought out by Microsoft, and then they kind of went downhill. This is a game that I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and so when this game was announced, in order to fill, I guess, the adventure or Star Wars gap in the N64's catalog, this game was released, and it was a character that had never been seen before, Dash Rendar. It was a story that was never seen or heard before, so it was kind of new, but it had a lot of the old style stuff, and it was fun. It was fun. You play it now, truth be told, it's kind of hard to play, just because it's clunky. The controls are clunky, but back in the day when it was announced and when it came out, I mean, this was a fun game. I really enjoyed this game, and it had different levels. I mean, it had the speeder bike races, or level. It had the shooting level. It had the level here that was on Hoth that you had to tangle the feet of the ATs, and then I think that's an ATST. So really fun game. Really fun game. Unexpected, but it was fun. I don't know if I'm gonna have this is gonna be like a 40-hour video. Once again, Rare. GeForce Gemini. I like this box. There's a lot going on, but the art is pretty cool. The game was an adventure game that was really, really fun. And it was a new IP. But if you look at it, I mean, the graphics were really, really. This came out later, towards probably past the middle point of the N64's lifespan, and so as you can see, the graphics were better. There was more textures, more colors, but I mean, really, really fun. It has a crease, but yeah, GeForce Gemini, another fun N64 game. Let's see. And of course, you had to have the prerequisite Smash Brothers. I never got into it. My brother was more into this game. I always sucked. I would always end up falling off. And so, but I believe this was the first one. So, I mean, it was fun. It was something different, 4-player fighting. and it was entertaining. I never really got into it, but just because I wasn't into it doesn't mean that it was not a good game, and this was a very good game. So, smash. Mario Kart 64, of course. Some of the screenshots, like I mentioned, the characters were pixels, but the environments were 3D. So it looked cool. But once Diddy Kong Racing came out, it's like you saw the difference, you noticed, but still a very fun game. Very, very fun game. So, yeah, Mario Kart 64.